Hi all. Back to enemy action, Kharkov, Soviet. So on to our second impulse of the first turn. I did think at first I might be deploying the Popov units as reserves, but I think I'd like to maybe. This was the card that I drew the last time. I think it was, wasn't it? However, it's 6th Army, and we could get this guy out the way. And I think if I can get this guy out the way, it then means that when I do move the pop-off units, I can probably get up and around that way, I think, with some of them. Whether I'm going to do that with them all or not, I don't know. Right, let's do that. So we're going to activate the 6th Army. Right, and on first step of activation is if there's any garrisons adjacent, you would remove the garrison. We don't have that. Then we can move combat. There's a new rule, what was it in the previous game, called withdrawal. If we don't happen to move or combat, we can withdraw if we find things that went kind of wrong. Then place one improved position marker, whereas previous game I think you'd be able to place multiple IPs on any unit that didn't move or attack. You can only do one now, and obviously the unit can't have withdrawn as well. And then remove dispersal. So that's the sort of sequence that we're going through. So I'm going to move, these are only just infantry units, 6th Army. So but we can get this guy surrounded, and yeah, so I'm going to move this guy 1, 2, 3 into the woods, and into there 4. Yeah, I could actually get another one up there as well, couldn't I? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, right, don't want to leave that guy. Just talking about it earlier about leaving the guy 2 strength on his own. So I'll just move they 2 into here and I'll leave this guy here. That means we've got him flanked as well. Yeah. Surrounded. So, and then we're going to attack with everything. So we have 4, 8, 11, 13, 16 to 3, which is 5 to 1 again. So 5 to 1 odds. Jet pools, they're all just 2-step units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1 for the artillery barrage is 6 again, so not the large attack again. Yeah, okay. So the attack, declare attack, the combat tactics. I'm not going to put any combat tactics. Draw a German command card. So let's see what they get for their combat tactic. Combat engineers. Okay. That's a pity, but so that's going to give them an IP, isn't it? German combat tactics, combat engineer on defense. Place an IP marker on the defenders. It's not applied to defenders of a town site. Oh, is he? No, he's not. He's not in a town, is he? No. And it is him. Yeah, right, okay. So we need an IP for him. I'll just use this for now. I mean, I like we add wee counters. I don't know where they are, but they were kind of clear, so you could still see what was going on underneath. And I've just put the IP marker underneath to show it, and the fact that I had the wee marker on top let you know that I had an IP. But well, hopefully it won't have an IP in a minute. Okay, so that's his combat tactic done. Yeah, so and it was a 2-step unit. See, there we go, looking underneath it already. So 2-step unit, so drawing a minimum of 2 chits. Just move this up a little bit so we can get the chits in. Minimum of 2 and then a maximum of 6. Right, drawing the first 2. First one was only attacker armor. Well, no, it's all infantry. And my guess is he's infantry as well. So the backside of that's going to be only defender armor, yeah. So that doesn't apply. The second one is a city or woods. Would give a D-1. It's not, it's a clear hex. Ouch. Yeah, I noticed that some of the clear hex you mean in the previous game, a clear hex when you were the attacker, clear hex was always beneficial, I think. So not in this game. I guess maybe the terrain's a bit different and whatever. So we've got a hit on ourselves and nothing on him. So, and he's got an IP. So that's not good. So I'm going to draw the other 4 chits then. Okay, so let's see what we got. We got city or attack not supported. That doesn't apply. Oh, well, there's another clear. At least we got a hit on him this time, but right, this is a new one. Attack command 5. So it means if our command card that we played, you can see it's only a 2 there, but if it had been a 5 we would have got that, and it was a D2. On the other side, dispersed or unsupplied, so that doesn't apply. 2 to go. Oh dear, this could be painful. We have 1.5 to 1, or less than 1.5 to 1. Well, it's 5 to 1, so that is applying. So it's another hit to him, but another hit to us as well. And disperse unsupplied. He's not in defender adjacent. There is not. So that's the 6 chip pools. Yeah, that's not great. Okay. So that's 2 hits to him, and 3 to ourselves. So the first hit takes the IP away. He's got 1 more hit. So he doesn't necessarily want to retreat because he's got 2 steps. So let's just check how this works again. Where are we? Yeah, if defenders retreat 2 hits, if number of hits remaining is greater than equal to number of steps, then it would retreat. Well, that's not the case. So it's going to conduct a hold check. This is one of the ones where we kind of want it to retreat because it's going to lose a step anyway. However, it's still going to be surrounded. Yeah, I don't know. Does it make any difference? Possibly not. Well, it's going to retreat though. It's going to retreat to here. And I wanted to be able to, the whole point was to take this guy out so we could then move up and maybe get this surrounded, but that's not going to happen now. Even if this guy sits there or if he moves. Yeah, both cases are going to be bad. Right, so what's the roll of dice here? Yeah, we've got that there. Okay. So conduct a hold check. First calculate defender's hold chance. The number of steps in defending unit is 2. Plus twice the VP value of the hex. There's no VP value in the hex, so that's not adding anything. If hex is woods, town or city, it's a +1. Nope. +1 if all attackers across Donetsk or Dnieper River hit size. No. -2 if defenders unable to trace supply. Yes, he is unable to trace supply, so that takes it down to 0 again. +2 if retreat would require an extra step loss. Well, yes, wherever he retreats to, he's going to get a step loss, so that's a +2. +2 if retreat would cause dangerous surround to another German. No. +2 if defending units have already retreated. No. So we've got a 2. So we roll dice, and if it's less than or equal to a 2, we apply a step loss. If it's greater than a 2, we retreat 1 hex. Okay. Dice, yeah. So I've rolled a 5. So it's greater than a 2, so it's going to retreat, yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's going to retreat into here. It's only got here or here, so let's just, well, you want to do things right, Grant, let's get it right. I mean, to be honest, I think I prefer it to come here, and then it would let me do what I wanted to do, but okay, nothing's really given me a clear answer there. Went right through all the priorities. I mean, a retreat priority is going to be number 4, which is into an unoccupied hex in enemy zone of control and not in friendly supply, and then remove a step from the retreating unit. But that applies to either moving into either one of these. Then we've got our preferences, which is a German VP hex. No. Hex not in danger of surround. Well, they both are. Woods terrain. No. Hex to which no Soviet units proximate. Again, they both are. And then the last one is direction opposite forward arrow in unit's hex. So there's no arrow in the unit's hex. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's a sort of tiebreaker. Lowest, I'm not to say lowest hex number, but no, that would go, yeah, no, it can't be that. Yeah, well, I mean, the only thing we can find this is a general tiebreaker. It's on page 17, the rules. When a German unit is moving, retreating, or advancing, and a choice of more than one destination hex remains after applying all requirements and preferences, prefer A hex that enables supply to be traced from another German occupied hex. Well, that's not the case to both the hexes. And B, the lowest numbered hex. So, kind of strange, but I mean, I was just going to go with the fact that it feels like it should be this one. Yeah, I mean, I've got to take that and I suppose put them there. Does feel a bit odd. One of the ones that you don't feel's right, but you can't sort of find something to say that it's right. Okay, well, I'm going to go with that then. And when he retreats, he takes a step loss because he's still in zone of control. Now, that satisfies the second of his 2 hits. Now, the problem is we've got 3 hits to take. Now, this was something that I found looked like it had been changed a bit. Applying step losses. Let's just see. Well, attacker hits is still the same. We apply the first one as a step loss, and then we can soak up the other 2. Well, we can soak up the next 2 by dispersing all attacking units. Which sounds like a plan here because it's exactly 3 hits we're taking. We take a hit on 1 unit and then disperse them all. I suppose it's still a viable option. I mean, rather than taking 3 hits, probably is what I'm going to do in the end when I think about I mean, it's not as if this guy's causing any trouble down here. And the fact he's moved down here as well means that we probably can get this pop-off unit. Hang on, I need to break zone of control. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got that guy surrounded. So that's going to work. Anyway, what was I saying was different? Yeah. So assign Soviet step loss to unit of your choice. However, first step loss must be to a 3-step unit or an armor unit. So okay, that's, I mean, the game's brought that along with it. But I don't think there was a restriction on spreading the hits around like there was before. You know, it had to be evenly spread between not only units. You know, you could take one hit from a unit in this stack. I'm talking about previous game, enemy match in Ardennes. Then you would have to take one from this stack, and then one from this stack before you could then take another one from the other stack. But I don't think that's the case anymore. Let's just see if we can find that. Yeah, there it is. There. It's still got some of it, but it doesn't seem to have it all. 13.51, it says assign step losses evenly. If you're assigning more than one step loss to units in a given combat, no unit may be assigned the second step loss until all participating units have been assigned one step loss in that combat. Well, added to that in Ardennes was you had to go from stack to stack as well. So within this game, I could assign a loss to this unit, then I can't assign the second loss to this unit until everybody's taken a hit, but I could assign the second step to this unit and it's in the same stack. Well, you couldn't do that before. So a little strange that one's not there anymore. Unless I'm not seeing it elsewhere, but I'm looking in the right bit, so yeah. Okay. Right, well, we're going to take a hit on. Okay, I'm going to take my step loss on this guy here. Moves him from a 2 strength to a 1 strength. Put him down the bottom as well. That soaks up my first hit. Now, here's where I can disperse all these units. What I'm going to do. Again, don't judge my. Don't say that this is the perfect way to do things. So, you know, it could well be a mistake. So disperse, and disperse. Now we're early enough in the turn. Well, I'd like to think it's possible that we could get these guys undispersed, and possibly. I mean, obviously we've just used the primary card to activate them. So that satisfies the next 2 hits, but I think it's better to do it that way. I don't want to do that. I mean, I wouldn't have done that with the 3rd Tank Army or the Popov, but just these guys, they're all infantry, and rather than taking 2 more hits, I think it's worth it, but well, you can let me know if you think it's silly or not. Right, so that's basically our impulse done. So what I'll do is, that was from the last turn, so we'll take that away and we'll bring out the 6 army to say that we've activated them. We cannot activate them next turn, and these can go away. That was their combat tactic, that can go away. Right, so on with the next German impulse. Just before we do, we've got to draw up to our 5 cards. Just a reminder of what we had, and we've drawn 3rd Tank Army units. That's a units one. So I activate 2 unit stacks in the 3rd Tank Army. Okay, well, they're all together anyway, so I'm not going to have that issue about does it activate units that are not in the 3rd Tank Army stacked with it. I don't think it does. Hopefully somebody will maybe make a little comment on that to say no, Grant, it's just third tank army units, but you only get to select 2 stacks of them. Okay, and what's the combat tactic for that? Tank brigade. It's probably just going to add armour, we think. Let's have a look. Add 2 to Soviet combat strength if attacking, 1 if defending. This adds armour to Soviet units in the combat who do not already possess armour. Reduce total hits incurred by the Soviets in the combat by 1. Reduce total hits incurred by the Soviets in the combat by 1. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, that's pretty good. So might do that. The fact we're only getting to activate 2 stacks, just looking across there, and yeah, I say foolishly, it was my first shot of the game, but you would probably like to maybe stack 3 2-step units together for the purpose of these command cards. So you're getting to activate 6 units rather than 4. But yeah, I'm sure I'll learn from my first play. Well, hopefully I'll learn a little bit anyway. Right, let's get another German impulse. Yeah, just checking up there just before we move on in this German impulse. About dispersal. Any match in Ardennes, a dispersed unit didn't exert a zone of control. However, there's nothing to say that it doesn't within this game, so they've obviously changed that. Or if they haven't, I'm not seeing it. So just for the fact that this guy and any match in Ardennes would be in supply, because he could trace here and then away he goes, because they don't exert a zone of control. But that's not the case. It certainly doesn't say it here. Dispersed unit can't move, attack or build an improved position, can't advance after combat, is not eligible for the Strategic Relocation event. Dispersed unit and any unit stacked with it may retreat only 1 hex if attacked. And then there's, if they're all in combat, bad things happen. Yeah, so they still exert a zone of control according to the rules. So that's good from our point of view. Right, I've been away for quite a bit since pausing that last part. We're just about to move on to the next German impulse. A couple of things. One thing that popped into my head. This latest one that I'm still curious to find out if this was correct, retreating this guy to here instead of retreating him to here. It is the lower number, so that's what we went on. It got me thinking that there was another move I had made that I wasn't 100% sure of, and I don't think I took the tiebreak lowest number into account, but I can't for the life of me. I thought it was the retreat of this unit, but I looked back on that and it wasn't. I felt like it was a move that wasn't opposite. Was there an attack? No, there wasn't an attack over here either, was there? No, maybe it'll come to light. It's just, unless I was just talking about something and just felt like I had made a move with a German unit that I wasn't 100% sure, and I didn't take that tiebreak into consideration. I don't know. I can't quite come up with it yet. But definitely curious to know if I got this one right. So let me know, guys. Now I've got the first part. Well, I say the first bit is part 2, isn't it? Because I'll put that first bit up. But I've got that part 2 ready to go. But I'd really like to just browse over it before I upload it, in case there's anything just blatantly, horribly wrong. So I don't know though. I'd like to get it out there as well, and it's better to get it out before I'm recording this. So that's the dilemma, I suppose. But we'll see. I'll record a wee bit more of this, and I'll see if I can get it fired up. I mean, it's uploading just now to YouTube, so I just need to click the button that says make it public, really. So, right, let's get a German impulse. So, it's just that, you know, you worry, there's that many rules in this game, and yes, it's very similar to the previous game, and, you know, you feel like you should be. I mean, before sitting down here to start recording, I thought, oh, this will be. I'm comfortable with this, but you doubt yourself. You really do. There's so many things that can catch you out, isn't there? Right. Okay. Let's get a German card and see what they're going to do next. So German command card. I'm just checking German impulse. Draw the command. Conduct first applicable command, and yeah, that's pretty straightforward, I think. Okay, so third corps Kampfgruppe card. So what we got? Deploy all third corps reserves. Well, we do have one, and it doesn't stipulate there that there's got to be so many. I think it says that the Kampfgruppe cards just tell you to deploy whatever's there. I think when it comes to the core cards, they will only deploy if there's a certain amount there, but that one it doesn't say that. It just says deploy all third corps reserves. As you can see up in the reserve units box, we do have only one unit, but so we're going to try and get him. Well, we're going to try and deploy him. It's possible that might not happen. If you recall, well, if you did watch the first part where I was trying to deploy the second SS units and I couldn't. Yeah, and I'm just looking at the player aid sheet regarding the German deploy reserves command. It says core KG card, all units in that core. Core cards, all units in core, but after turn 2 it says a minimum of 2 on some of the cards. And then the army card, an army group south card, or something similar. So, but that one doesn't stipulate in it, just says deploy whatever's there. So can we do it though? Like I say, we need some idea of where it's going to go. So I suppose where's the army area? Well, he's their first Panzer army. So in actual fact, this is that's all way over the other side, isn't it? You can just see. You can just see the boundary up the top there. First Panzer Army. So it just comes along to there, and then the line comes down. However the line does then come in a bit. So it's in this area here. Should probably move the card along there then so we can have a look. So it's on this side of things. So it needs to be deployed there. And yeah, I get the feeling it's probably not going to deploy again because of the big one that a Soviet unit needs to be proximate to the hex where it goes. So it'd be over this side somewhere, and there's its buddies down there. Obviously, this one's actually over the boundary, but doesn't apply. Movement doesn't apply to the Germans. I think when you deploy them, you've got to deploy them in their army area, but then they can move wherever they like. Not the same for the Soviets. We have to deploy them within their boundaries, and they cannot move outside the boundaries. And as far as I'm aware, that restriction is there for the whole game. I know previous game, I think that restriction got lifted at a certain time throughout the game, but I don't believe it happens. I think it's restricted throughout the game. So we need to keep that one in mind. Okay, so yeah, so he needs to be deployed in here. Well, I mean, let's just say, you know, in this hex here, for instance, you know, could he be placed in here? Well, no, a Soviet unit's not proximate to that, and there's nothing at all. There's nothing that can come up and around. Looking along here, well, these guys, as I've just said, they can only come as far as there. So if one of them could reach a hex in here, they're not allowed to cross into there. The furthest they can come along is this line. So there's no point looking at any of them. This Popov unit, I mean, he's got a movement of 6, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, you can't get around, and zone of control all locked in there. So yeah, I can't see a possibility where a Soviet unit's proximate to any hexes across this in their army area. Never mind any of the other conditions that are required. No. So, and because we're not on turn, it's 1 to 3, isn't it? Yeah, we're not on turn 4 yet. If we were on turn 4, same thing. We could deploy it by, I think it would just go into the same, could go beside the same core. It could just stack. But we're not on turn 4 yet, so we can't deploy them that way. We can only look at method A. So again, I'm going to say that the deployment can't happen. Okay, well, if it can't happen, there's the sun coming in the window. We look at the next command, which is an event air supply. I have a feeling that will not happen, because I think that, well, unless it does something else. It's usually about things that are out of supply, isn't it? What am I looking for? Event air supply. That's Soviet, German. Air supply. In one hex containing unsupplied German units, place all units in full supply. Does not apply if no German units are out of supply or isolated. Well, there's no German units that are out of supply, so it doesn't apply. So then we go to the next command, which is activate the 3rd Corps unit with the most 3rd Corps units in its 2 hex radius, and all those units and all units stacked with those units. Okay, well, I think we should be able to get something happening now with that. Okay, so we've got 4 units on the map from 3rd Corps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're looking at the one that has the most in its 2 hex radius. So this one has 1, 2, 3. It covers them all, doesn't it? This one only has 1, 2, and this one only has 1, 2. So it's clearly this one that we select, and that's the kind of camp group. Now there's some markers there. Where are they? Hang on. Yeah, there's a marker here. There's a camp group for 2 hexes, and then on the back side of it, there's a camp group for 3 hexes. I don't know if it's something that you really need to use, but basically what I'm doing is putting that's a unit that I'm using as a camp group, and it's going to pick up it picks up so activate the unit with the most units within its 2 hex radius, which is that one. So we're activating that and all those units. So it's activating all 3 of them as well. And then if they had been stacked with other units, they could have been from any other core. It doesn't stipulate it needs to be from that core, then they would be activated too. But it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 units activated. So I'll actually just take this away just because it's covering that unit up. So we know we're activating the whole core basically. So yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do with them then. I suppose step 1 within turn 1 and 2. Step 1 is if behind Soviet lines, and it's 10.2, but it's on the player aid here as well. So just to get an idea of what that means, it says active German unit in a non-VP hex from which supply can't be traced and able to move performs the first action that applies. So you're looking for a unit that can't trace supply, but it can still move. It would first of all try to move to an empty or garrison VP hex, then it would move to a hex in German supply. Then if it was turn 6, it would do this. There's quite a few conditions. Eventually it comes down to you could roll a dice and it could possibly go back on the calendar and come back out later. But None of these units are in that. They're not behind lines, so we don't need to bother about that. So come the time, maybe as the game moves on a bit, we might see a situation where that'll come in it. So step 2, move to an empty or garrison VP hex to which Soviet unit is proximate. Okay. That shouldn't be there. That was me mucking about, wasn't it? Right, well, we've already said that there's no Soviet units proximate to anything here. There's a garrison hex down. Zoom out a little bit. Down here, but Soviet units aren't. That's a city, in fact, isn't it? But Soviet units aren't proximate to that. And there's nothing even up here. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This it's probably out of line. This VP hex here, a Soviet unit's proximate to here. This has got a movement of 6. So, and he's alright. Yeah, you can cross into here up to there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, I mean, obviously something maybe we should consider going for, getting a victory point on the board by just moving that guy up there. So the Germans will want to try and stop that if that's there. So if this guy could reach up to there, he's only got 4 movement, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of like out his range, but obviously if there's something closer by, he's wanting to try and do that. So there's no garrisoned or empty VP hex to which a Soviet unit is proximate that these units could move to stop that from happening. So we move on to the next step, which is number 3. Now, this is the same one as we done. Well, actually, did it? No, I didn't do it, did I? That's me thinking back to my wee sort of. Or did I? No, I didn't do that. So, action step number 3, an ascending order. Right, sorry, got cut off there. Again, a phone call. I'm going to have to really need to do something about this phone situation. Okay, it will happen sometime soon. Right, yeah, what I need to check is, because they're from 1st Panzer Army, yeah, that's not going to apply then, is it? Because step 3 is if in 4th Panzer Army or Corps Rau and in Soviet artillery zone. So it's only the guys over the other side. And these units are the 1st Panzer Army. So I believe we're going to skip on by that one then. Yeah. So step 4 is if in danger of surround, move to a position hex not in danger of surround. I'm not thinking that's going to be the case, but we should have a glance. Oh, here's another one that was not present in any action Ardennes. When you're checking for danger of surround or proximity, I think. You didn't used to check dispersed units, I don't think. I don't think you did. And it tells you somewhere on here. Dangerous surround. I think I need to look in the rule book for this. Give me a sec. Yeah, well, page 21 has got dangerous surround reminders, and it says consider all supplied active and non-active Soviet units, even if dispersed. So this is to check for dangerous surround. I'm very sure that wasn't the case in enemy action Ardennes, but I think it should be the case, because if I activate these guys again, they remove their disperse marker. If I then manage to activate them again before the end of the turn, and these units haven't moved and they were in dangerous surround, then, well, this one is going to be in dangerous surround. So, you know, I think it should have counted, but I'm pretty sure in Ardennes it didn't. Is it the same approximate then? No, I don't think it is it? No, it can't count, because proximate does say a unit is proximate to a target hex if it has sufficient movement points to reach the target in one move. And dispersed units can't move, so although it just shows you they are. I mean, dispersed units can't move, but we're actually checking for dangerous round, and for me to surround that unit, I would need to move this unit, and I can't move this unit. So yeah, okay. Right, well, it definitely does say consider all supplied active and non-active Soviet units, even if dispersed. So there we go. So I think that's going to apply, isn't it? So this is step 4. If in danger surround, move to a position hex not in danger surround, and then there's a few preferences. So, and we're looking at this in ascending order. So we've got unit 1 down here. Is he in danger of surround? He is not. Don't believe. No. Because this guy can't move from here to here. And although something could move into here, yeah, he's not in danger surround. So that's unit 1. Unit 2 would be next. Now there's nothing that can get right round behind him to surround him. Unit 7 is next, and this is the one that's the concern, because he can be. Can he? Yeah, he can, because all I need is a unit here. So even Popov back here, without counting the dispersed units, Popov back here could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and this guy's surrounded. So he's going to try and get out of there if he can. So prefer A removes dangerous surround from another German unit. So I have to move to a position hex not in dangerous surround, and I prefer A removes dangerous surround from another German unit. So that means moving to a position where I would bring another German unit that was in dangerous surround not to that state. It's going to be a tricky one to look for, I think. At the moment, it's all right, because we've decided that, I suppose we've just looked at these aren't in dangerous surround. Well, 1 and 2. I've not looked at 8 yet, because it's in ascending order, but you can see he's not in dangerous surround either. Also, dangerous surround does not mean surrounded, does it? That's a different thing. So I'm only moving if I can remove danger of surround from our German unit. Well, yeah, I couldn't remove surround from another unit anyway, can I? No, you can't. Right, so I don't think there's anything we can move to do that. So B is in the unit's army area. Well, he's outside his army area at the moment, so that means he wants to move this way. Unfortunately, he can't move from there to there. What he can do is move into the. No, I don't think he's going to have the movement for that, because that would be 1, 2, and then what is it to cross the Donets River? It's 1. Oh, he could do that. That'd be 1, 2, and then an extra 1 to cross there, so he could go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have a look at this. He's moving out of VP hex. Let's check the restrictions. So German movement restrictions for turn 1 to 3 don't cause. Dnipro. That's a tricky one, eh? Dnipropetrovsk or Kharkov to become empty. I don't know where Dnipro. It's a way up the top there. Don't cause Soviet proximity to an empty or garrison German city hex or map edge VP hex. Well, this isn't a city hex, so I don't think we'd be breaking that restriction. Don't cause unit in the same corps to be put in danger of surround unless that unit is active and not yet acted. Well, these units are active and not yet acted. So to be honest, we don't need to care about that one. And it says, if not in dangerous surround, don't end move in non-city hex in dangerous surround unless allowed by action. Well, we are in dangerous surround. Don't end mech unit in marsh hex. Okay, well, I don't think we're breaking any of the restrictions. I mean, I'm pretty sure before Ardennes, I don't think you would move out of a VP hex. That's what's, I suppose, just making me hesitate a little. But I do remember there's quite a few of these things that do seem to be quite different. You do think, that seems a bit odd, but I don't think there's any issue where I'm doing this. I mean, it's maybe been found in all the playtesting that it's more important for this unit not to be in danger of surround. You know, because, well, didn't already talk about the fact this unit's moved down here. We're still slightly hesitant about if you should have moved there. But, and remember I was talking about maybe we'll move this pop-off unit up here to surround this guy. Well, there you go. Well, it's coming in right now and saying, no, you're not getting to do that. I'm getting out of here. Even though it's going to give me a victory point by moving into that town. So I don't think there's a problem. That's only part with German movement restrictions. Yeah, well, we're going to find out if there is something wrong with this, because I'm going to go with this and say that he doesn't have a restriction on him that stops him from moving. So, and he can move to a position not in dangerous surround in the unit's army area, which has got to be across this line, but you can't go straight across there, so, oh, hold on. Oh, hang on, I'm forgetting about his breaking zone of control, isn't he? So it's actually 3 to move into here. He's not going to be able to do it then, because it's a +1 to cross that, because I was thinking there he could go like that, but that's 3, 4, 5. So in actual fact, he doesn't have the movement to get across there. Interesting. Okay, well, what's the next preference? It says, if outside unit's army area, closer to the area. Well, I'm not getting any closer to the area because I'm adjacent to it right now. So then D is empty and E is lowest position. So, but hold on. Where can this guy move to get that's not in dangerous surround? That's 3 movement for him, and he's not going to move any far. Is he in dangerous surround there? No, I don't think he is. I think that's maybe what he's going to do. Just move back that 1x. He could potentially start going this way, but no, surely not. Because that's moving away from his army boundary. Yeah. See, as if outside unit's army area, closer to the area. Mind you, if I've skipped by that preference, because we can't get closer to the area, if I've skipped by that preference and then I move on to empty, could that not mean I could move to there? It seems a bit wrong, but if I skip by preference C, if outside unit's army area closer to the area, and then move on to D, which is empty, and then lowest position, funnily enough. So that's 1505, that's 1605. So there you go. And that's only 2 movement points into there. I mean, that's 2, 3, 4. I mean, you could, I don't know, you could see I'm going way up there, because this is a lowest hex number. but that seems wrong. It feels a bit wrong, so let me think about this one. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that one, because I know if you skip by commands, you can't then go back to the command once you've looked it over, and if the situation then changes. But should I be considering step C, is it? Which says, if outside units army area, closer to area. So that's what it's saying, move closer to the area. So we are outside the area, so we should be moving closer to the area. So surely that says we can't move further away from the area. I'm going to rule that one that way, but it could be argued that you would ignore that C and move to D, which is then empty in lower position, which could have you going up this way, I think. But I think the right move is, and it seems a more logical move too, is to stay as close to the army boundary, not move further away from it, stay as close. Did I say closer? I'm not getting closer. By doing this, I'm not getting closer to it. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, it's 3 movement for me to move into there, and we can't move any further. Well, apart from going here, but what's the point in that? To be honest, they might be in dangerous surround anyway. If he was there, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, even if it's infantry. So that hex would be in dangerous surround. Well, to be honest, that probably would be as well when you look at, sorry, let me zoom out a bit, when you see these 3rd Tank Army units. I mean, Popov just needs to pop into here, any Popov unit into here, and then that can come up. So, in all honesty, all the hexes could be in dangerous surround. However, I would like to know if anybody's got a thought on that one. Should I be ignoring step C? Because although we're outside the army area, we can't move closer to it because we're adjacent to it. So maybe we should just ignore that one. We would then go empty hex and then go the lowest number. But because these are going to be in dangerous surround as well, that one is not going to be in dangerous surround, I don't think, no. Because even this guy couldn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, hang on. No, is it not 2 for him to cross that? It's 2 for him to cross it and then 1 for the clear hex, so it's not got 1 with 7 there, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'd be another 3 movement to go into there. So I don't think he can. Well, you know what? Even if something could get into here, nothing can get in here. So he's not in danger surround there. So okay, so I'm going to go with that one. Curious to know what your thoughts are on that step C of action step number 4 and the situation I had there. So you know, if you want to voice an opinion or tell me what's right and what's wrong. Okay, so that's one unit had made an activation. We would then now check unit selector number 8, but he's not in dangerous surround. So then we move on to the next action step. And the next action step is 5, which is draw an action card and conduct the action if situation applies. Right, so let's draw an action card. Right, let's zoom in for a wee read on this. Deploy flank protection. So the action is place one garrison in the lowest numbered empty position hex meeting all these criteria. Well, there you go actually, if any of you did watch my first playthrough. And I wondered about drawing an action card because I thought there was nothing that could happen because the units couldn't move, and also the placement of a garrison needed to be proximate to a Soviet unit, but that one could have worked, I think. So place one garrison in the lowest numbered empty position hex meeting all these criteria. Within 3 hexes of an active unit, not adjacent to a Soviet unit, in German reserve supply, would cause a German unit in dangerous surround to no longer be in danger of surround. Oof, okay. So again, the very last one there is probably the one that we want to look for first in some kind of way. We're looking for a German unit that's in danger of surround, and to see if we can place a garrison marker to remove that danger of surround. Yeah, and just while reading that, I wanted confirmation of that, and I'm pretty sure this was something also that wasn't quite clear in the rulebook at any match in Ardennes. I'm not sure if it was, if this was the case or not. It's dangerous surround here. I'm looking at. I'll jump back to the German action terminology. It's on page 20 and 21 in the rulebook. Page 21 for this one. Dangerous surround. A given hex is in danger of surround by Soviet units if not currently surrounded, and either of the following are true. So actually, there's another thing to add to that. Actually, so a unit that's already surrounded is not in danger of surround. So you've got to keep that one in mind. And I think that was one that kind of caused a bit of head scratching back in Ardennes. But while we're on that one, just reading that either of the following are true. So the one that we all know about is Soviet units are proximate to hexes that, if occupied by those Soviet units, would cause every hex adjacent to the given hex to be occupied by or in the zone of control of a Soviet unit. And then there's an or here. The second possibility is you can't trace a path of hexes of any length free of Soviet units or Soviet zone of controls from the given hex to a German supply head. So that's going to have the one to keep an eye on. You're probably going to notice it, I guess. But you might think, right, he's not in danger of surround, but he's away behind enemy lines and he can't actually trace supply. So got to keep that one in mind. Don't believe that was part of the previous game. Oh, and while we're on about it, the wee example there. No, it's not proximity. Examples of being in danger of surround. Yeah, it's on page 20 there, the second example, which says examples of being in danger of surround. I actually worked out that the unit, the very last part, the unit in hex 1405, it says it is in danger of surround, but it says even though Soviet units can't move to hexes to surround it because the German supply path of any length can't be traced from hex 1405. Well, I'm pretty sure I worked out that could be surrounded in the normal way by moving Soviet units around a bit. If you want to have a look at that. I thought I had it, I got it surrounded, and then when I looked at the answer, I thought, oh, right. I thought, well, it does surround. I can surround it by doing this, that, and the next thing. I could have possibly miscalculated my movement points, but if you want to have a look. Right, so we're looking for a unit in danger surround, aren't we? Okay. Well, there's nothing. We've already dealt with the third corps units here. This guy was in dangerous round. He is now not. This guy wasn't. These weren't. This guy's not. This guy, and that's why I had to look at, he's actually surrounded. Yeah, he's surrounded. So he's not in danger of surround, so we can ignore him. So I guess we want to be looking over this side and looking at some of these guys here. Well, I don't think this one is. It's not in danger of surround, and I don't think this guy is. No. Nor these, and obviously the stuff up here. It's possibly nothing actually. This one could, yeah, I think this one is, isn't it? Because 1, 2. No, I need to get up to this hex. No, hang on. This guy probably is, isn't he? Because something can move in here. This could move in here. And surely this can go out and in. Yeah, it'd be breaking zone of control. It'd be 3 movement into there, and then 1 back into there. And then this guy could go into here. So this guy is in danger of surround. Well, let's mark him. I don't think this one is, because I can, although I can move to here, don't think I can get anything there. 1, 2, 3, and then it's mechanized. No, it's 5 movement to get in there, aren't it? I think they looked at this one already. So yeah. So I think this is the only guy that's in danger of surround, by my looking. Yeah. Okay, so what does the card read on? Let's just move the card along a bit. Look. So it says, place 1 garrison in the lowest numbered empty position hex meeting all these criteria. Would cause a German unit in danger of surround to be no longer in danger of surround. So that could be, yeah. It would need to be that hex, wouldn't it? Yeah, it need to be placed in that hex to prevent it. So, is it within 3 hexes of an active unit? Oh, right, okay. Here's me saying you should read the bottom one first. The first one's kind of important as well, because our active units are all along there. Okay, that's not going to apply then, is it? Yeah. So there you go, guys. It's obviously written in that way that you look at that one first. That does make sense. Look at that one first. Find a position within 3 hex. Well, you've got to put them all together, haven't you? You do need to put them all together. I guess it's just some you think, right, it's clear that there's nothing proximate to that, or it's clear that this isn't the case. Yeah, I'm not going to get anything within 3 hexes of these 3 units. It's got to be within 3 of these 3 units. And get anything out of danger or surround. Yeah, so I'm going to skip by that. That's not going to happen. So if no hex qualifies, do not conduct this action. So that was step. Wait, where are we now? Here. That was step 5. But step 6 is, if no action conducted in step 5, draw another action card, conduct action if situation applies. So we're going to draw another action card and see if that might do anything. So this one's just deploy a garrison. So yeah, it's the same. See, I suppose this is me just like playing the game for the first time, because step 2 is within 3 hexes of a supplied active German unit. And it needs to be in German reserve supply, and it needs to be to which a Soviet unit is proximate but not adjacent. So I'll show you a bit more. Zoom out a little bit. So this hex here, a Soviet unit is proximate to this, and it's within 3 of these, but it's adjacent to a Soviet unit. This one here, and German reserve supply, yes. Within 3 hexes of a supplied active German unit, yes. To which a Soviet unit is proximate, yes. Okay, so that is a candidate for that. So there might be more than one here, to be honest. So that's a possibility. Well, let's look at the preferences are removes dangerous round from a German unit. Well, we know that's not an issue. Lowest number position. Okay. So just the lowest number position is, what is that one? That's 50. We can't go 11. Is there anything north of that? Sorry, it's not north, it's west. That's 51, so it could well be 50. 44 is here, but it's adjacent to Soviet unit. No, it was within 3 actually, but it's adjacent to a Soviet unit. Well, I think that one actually. So let's just check this. Place 1 garrison in an empty position hex meeting all these criteria. In German reserve supply, yes. And I'll not go fully into supply yet. I mean, reserve supply is a bit trickier than supply, but that's not in any issues. It's on a road here, and that road goes away to supply for the Germans. Within 3 hexes of a supplied... oh, he's not active anymore, is he? Yeah, my guess is he's had an activation. However, it is within 3 of this guy, so that does still work. And to which a Soviet unit is proximate but not adjacent, yes. And then prefer A, remove dangerous round from German unit, no. B, lowest number position, yes. I think we have our garrison in here. Yeah. Okay, I'm feeling okay about that. So that's that card done its thing. So that was step 6, was it? Step 6. But we still have 3 active units that haven't done anything yet. So from 3rd Corps. So we move on to step 7, which goes in descending order. Move to a hex that removes dangerous round from another German unit. Right, well we know there's not an issue with that. We've been through all that, so we can skip on to step 8. Again in descending order, if Soviet unit proximate to empty or garrison German city hex, move to hex that prevents that Soviet proximity. No, there's no cities that we are proximate to. Step 9, again descending order. If in non-VP hex and stacked with or adjacent to other German unit, move to empty position hex not adjacent to any German unit into which Soviet unit proximate. Oh dear. Oh yeah, some of them become a mouthful. It's good though. I love this. I really do. I like so intricate and perfect, and yeah. Right, so this is descending order, so let's look at that, and let's look at this guy. He's the highest number. So if in a non-VP hex, he is not, and stacked with or adjacent to other German unit, well he is adjacent to another German unit, move to empty position hex not adjacent to any German unit and to which Soviet unit is proximate. Okay, probably not going to happen. Move to empty position hex. Not adjacent to any German unit. Yeah, no, that's not happening either. Yeah, I mean these hexes are proximate, but they're not position hexes, and they're all adjacent to another German unit. So that's not happening. Step 10, again descending order. Place an IP on unit if eligible, and Soviet unit proximate. Okay, well there we go. We can get this happening. That's descending. No, he's not. He can't, can he? Because the Soviet unit is not proximate to him. Next one, however, there's a Soviet unit proximate to him, because he's adjacent. So place an IP on unit if eligible. He's not in a town or city, and he does not have an IP. So he's going to get an IP. And I think I'd like to find my wee counters now. We just put over these. Just it covers everything up. I'll hunt them down in a bit. So that unit had an activation, and then this one is also proximate. However, he is in a city, so he can't build an IP either. So that's it, and then the final step is remove disperse marker from the unit, and there's no dispersal. So it looks like that's all steps been checked. We've only activated 2 units. We've not activated the 2 units, but there's no other steps to do, so that's all we can do. Okay. That seemed quite good news for the Germans. They're on the defensive, obviously. I mean, I suppose moving out of this VP hex, I was wondering about, but I think the thought of not being surroundable now is probably a good thing for them. Yeah, I'll have to find my wee cubes, because yeah, I could just put underneath it, but then I'll forget about it. So I've got the wee cube on top, so I'll leave it like that just now. And I think that's everything, isn't it? So that was German Impulse. We did activate the units. Something did happen. We don't need to draw other cards. Yeah, all good to go. So hopefully, anyway. Right. Going to have to take a pause now. So it'll be my impulse next. So I can remind myself of that. I should remember. If not, I'll maybe just need to check the video. Okay, that was quite interesting then. What's been going on? That's pretty good. Not an awful lot happened yet, but I like to take things very slow and careful and deliberate, and ideally get everything right. But this looks like a good sort of section to maybe push through a wee bit, but maybe flank these 48th Corps units and get them out of the way, and then I suppose then that pushes towards Kharkov, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. Well, I'll take a pause for now, and I think this might just make an episode. I'll just chuck them out there when I can, but I'll be back with the next Soviet Impulse. Hopefully tonight. I've still got a bit more of the night left, but we'll see. Okay, cheers for now.